I wanted to talk a little bit more about Boolean values and how we use them. So I've drawn up a bit of a diagram here. So if we have some Boolean variable that we call x, now if x is true, that means that x would be true. If x is false, then x is false. Pretty straightforward stuff. So if we make a comparison, something that we were to put into an if statement, like if we said if x is equal to true, and x is true, this statement would be true. If x is false, then this statement is false. So that's how we read this table. And then here, we're using this not operator, which we talked about previously. So if we say not x, if x is true, we put the not in front of it, so true becomes false. So not x would be false. And then here, if x is false, when we put not in front of it, that false becomes true. So not x, when x is false, that's true. Then here we have x is equal to false. If x is true, that would be a false statement because x is not equal to false. Here, when x is false, that x is equal to false becomes true. Now if you notice, the output on this in this row is the same as the output in this row. And the same goes for these two rows. The outputs are exactly the same. False, true, false, true. True, false, true, false. So when you're using an if statement and you say something like if x, where x is some Boolean variable, if you say if x is equal to true, that's a little redundant. You can just say if x, and that's perfectly fine. Whereas here, if you have something like if x is equal to false, you can just say if not x. And it's a lot simpler than writing out this whole thing, and it's a lot easier to read as well, and it's just much less redundant.